Well, hello. Hope you're doing well. My name is Muna, and I am with Kiking, Kiking, and today I wanted to sit down and talk to you guys about affirmation. Today I wanted to talk to you guys and sit down and talk about affirmations, and merely because my brain Kiking is derived for my love of affirmations. So what I'm going to talk about today is affirmations and how you can use them in self-development and self-improvement. So I'm going to define what affirmations are, and there are two types actually. There are negative affirmations and positive affirmations, and how the negative affirmations can affect your life. We're going to go to how you can use the positive affirmations. We're going to go into how you can use positive affirmations to combat negative affirmations. And we'll also go into how you can change your attitude for positive affirmations. And I'll give some examples of positive affirmations and leave you off with something you can do after this video. All right, sounds good? All right, let's get into it. All right. So, what are affirmations exactly? Affirmations are short statements that we make, and these statements, repeated over time, we tend to become. So it's a way of creating your reality. But one thing is, we actually do this really often. When we're thinking things or when we say something out loud, that's affirming. The definition of affirm is this, okay? To affirm is to state as a fact, to assert strongly and publicly. All right, and what's similar to that is to declare, to assert, and the opposite of that, as you see here, is to deny. So when you're affirming something, what you're not doing is you're not denying. That's what that means. And affirmation itself is a noun. And an affirmation is the action, the noun, the action or process of affirming. So the affirmation is the action. When we're saying affirmation, what we're saying and thinking, that is the action or the process of us claiming this, of us declaring this. So what you're not doing when you're making affirmation is you're not denying what you're thinking. So I just wanted to go into details with that, what it means and what's not happening and what is happening when you're making affirmation to affirm something. All right. So research has been done, and from what I looked into, we on average as humans have about 45,000 thoughts at the lowest and up to 80,000 thoughts a day. And that's on average. So between those thoughts, there are different positive ones, negative ones, or if you don't like to think of things as black and white like that, you can see it as maybe just like different energies and thoughts, because some thoughts, you can have the same thought and it has a different energy and frequency to it. So somebody who, for example, can be thinking, I don't even know an example right now because I'm just going off of the stream of my thoughts, so we'll keep on moving, and when it does come, I'll pop in and say it, okay? But what I'm just saying is there's some thoughts that we can all have that is very similar, and it just has a different frequency for us. You know what I mean? So say, for example, if you say, I love fill in the blank. Me saying I love apples and me saying I love pain are two different frequencies. I'm sorry, that's the best way I can put it right now. But it's just, if you don't want to just say if it's negative or positive, to have that stark comparison, you can see that your thoughts and your affirmations have different frequencies, or whether it has different energies, and also it can also have different, or it can be an empowering or disempowering. It can also just be negative and positive. For this video, we're going to go with negative and positive, all right? And what disempowering and empowering is, something that's disempowering is something that takes away the control from you, and it blames other people in the situation that's happening. And then something that is empowering is something that you put yourself in it as the responsible party. So you take responsibility for your thoughts, whether or not you weren't the cause of it, because sometimes we do have thoughts that come into us as we're younger, or even right now as we're older. It comes from the outside, but you take responsibility for accepting it and for receiving it and for becoming it. Because people can bring things your way, but it doesn't mean you have to accept it. That's where you take the responsibility. And so that is an empowering thought. Okay, so affirmations, so went through the definitions, and you get about 45,000 to 80,000 a day. That's a lot of affirmations. That is a lot of thoughts. And it doesn't all have to stick with just saying affirmations, I am or I'm not. When we say affirmations, I'll go with the examples and show you guys that a little later. But yeah, we get all these thoughts and we don't even realize it because we're just going on with our day. And the thing is, a lot of them get stored in your subconscious mind, which you're not aware of. So your subconscious mind is doing all this storing, all this processing, and keeping these thoughts inside of you, and you're just in your car driving to go to the store, minding your business. The way you can see it is, say a computer, for example. All right. When you download a file on a computer, all you see is I click on the button that says download, and I go and see on my folder it's there. But what you're not seeing is the back-end process. In the back end of you clicking download, what's happening is the server is the physical thing where information is stored. So Google, for example, operates in a certain server, so you access it. You're not seeing the request from the place where you're downloading the file, and how that file is actually being sent to your computer to be stored on your computer file folder. So you're not seeing any of that back end. So that's basically how your subconscious mind is working. It's receiving things, but you're not seeing the underworking. Your subconscious mind is that hidden area that you don't see, but it's storing it. That's why it's storing it. So think about the same thing. You have a bunch of files on your computer, but you're not reading all of them. You have a bunch of mail on your email. We all receive emails and text messages. You don't see the process in the back end that's happening, but it's happening. Information is always being exchanged. Same thing as our thoughts, their information, their frequencies. They're always coming into us, but we just don't notice them if we don't look into them. Bing! Anyways, so all right, so that's the thing. So when we're thinking about the negative ones, these are disempowering. That word is hard for me to say. So negative thoughts, the way they affect your life is that they can very much be disempowering, and it can lead you to feeling depression and, you know, having a lack of self-esteem and being low confidence in yourself, because why would you not? That's what the instruction that you're giving your body and your mind. So of course it's going to lead to that over time. It's a way of programming. Just think of yourself as a computer or your phone. And I think this is an easy way for us to all see this analogy, because you're probably watching this from a computer or a phone. If you have a bunch of bad files being stored into you, of course you're going to get affected. Whether or not you think you're not, you are in the inside. So it can definitely lead to having low self-confidence and the depression. And they also do affect your happiness in life and the way that you see yourself in life. So an example of these negative thoughts and affirmations are things like, you know, I am the black sheep, I don't fit in, I am too sensitive, people are always against me, and I don't qualify for this or that because I don't have this and that, and I'm unhealthy, and nobody cares. And while those are just some of them, there are many more that come along during the day as you just live in your regular day. And some of them may even be like, I feel unsafe and I don't have any good relationships. And while they may be evidence of these things as you think them in your current situations, the thing is, your subconscious just cannot differentiate between, oh, these are things that are happening now, but it doesn't mean that's not who I am. If that makes sense. So for example, saying things like, oh, I don't have good relationships. you're saying that now, but somehow you're like, you know what, but I'm a good person. There's evidence of you actually having at least one person in your life that you have a good relationship with, and you actually want to be somebody who you desire a good relationship, but you keep saying it and thinking it. And whether you're saying it as a way to vent to somebody, or you're just thinking it because you see the sign, therefore you think it, and you don't take the time to counter that thought or what you just said, your subconscious mind doesn't know what to do with that. And all it does is it stores it. It says, okay, well, this is our reality. This is not just a thought that's going to come and go. This is who we are. Therefore, we look for signs for these things, and it proves that we're right. Because your subconscious mind likes to be right. It likes to be right because it likes things that it's used to, things that it knows. So over time, when you keep thinking these things and saying it, even just as a joke, because some people say those things just joking because it's on trend, you're setting yourself up. It's fun. They're in songs. You say it over and over again. I'm not going to say which songs because there are many, many songs that have terrible, terrible, terrible affirmations that we repeat. And I definitely get down to them, okay? Because they have the best club beats. It's horrible, but it's okay to engage in them if you know how to differentiate yourself from the words and the frequencies that they have. So those are examples of negative affirmations. And these affirmations, although they seem very like, oh, well, it is true, I am the black sheep. It is true, I am sensitive. I hope that you realize by just claiming that and saying it and believing it, think of the long term of where that can lead to you, where that leads life. Always being the black sheep, how does that actually make you feel? Do you enjoy it? Do you not like being a part of stuff? Because I used to say those things too, and I do say it here now and then, but I've done my work where at least I can say it and I counter it, or I know my subconscious is at the point now where it knows that we're just saying these things for the sake of sharing. And I'm not saying it because I'm identifying with it, because fuck it. I've even learned a way to counter what the definition of this black sheep thing is, or redefine my own definition of being sensitive is. I use it as my superpower. Being a black sheep means that I get the chance to find different things. Being the black sheep means that I get the chance to see things in a different way, which definitely benefits you when it comes to standing out and being successful in what you put your mind into. And also on being sensitive, I mean, come on, baby, at this point, you need to learn to own your emotions, because having the ability to feel and understand emotions is such a superpower. Baby, trust me. So just learn to redefine certain words, and that's what I mean. That's what I was referring to when I say certain affirmations. They may be the same, but they have different frequencies to it. Before, when I would say I'm sensitive, it had negative feelings around it. But now when I say I'm a sensitive person, I embrace it because I know it means that I can connect with people just like that. And it is great because a lot of people lack that ability. Yes. So what negative affirmations can prove to do is they just affect your life for the negative. It damages situations. Sometimes it's very slow, like it's a slow cooking thing, you know, or sometimes it's instant. But do not underestimate the power of how a negative mind and thought can affect your life and situations. So, and there's also been research that's done and been recorded in books. One of them is Power of the Subconscious Mind, and another one is Becoming Supernatural. There's been research that's been done where people claim that the existence of negative thoughts over time, repeated over time, over and over again, has an effect on your physical health. And this, you can see it as, you know, when you're thinking very negatively sometimes, or when you're nervous, your stomach is tight. That's because your body system, your nervous, like it's sending all the nutrients to focus on the danger that it's seeing. if it's your fear of being on stage, everything just comes to the surface. So that's why you feel things on the surface. Your palm gets a little sweaty, your heart, you can feel the racing and all that stuff. Even right now as I'm talking, I can feel the sweat glands, but it's all good because I realize also sometimes these are signs of excitement. See how you can just re-engineer and change the meaning of things and make it be more of a positive affirmation to you. Anyways, but when the body does that, it goes into flight mode in a way where with the negative thinking, and nutrients are being used to protect you. Your energy is being used to protect you. Therefore, it's not able to focus on what the body naturally should be doing to keep you healthy. And over time of that long life of negative of the same thing over and over again, because you keep failing to realize it's you and your mind that needs the real change to change your outside. So it keeps going. And then you start having headaches and keep going to the doctor. They can't figure out what's wrong with you, but something is wrong with you. There's evidence of that happening in people's lives, and you can reference those books if you want to look more into it. And yeah, so sometimes we're just born into those situations where we don't have control of having that negative mind. A lot of times, everything that we think that's in our subconscious came to us when we didn't have control of it in the younger stages of our lives. So you may be in a family that's verbally just raw as fuck. Raw, like no holds bound, nothing. And it could be just because sometimes it's comedy joking where they're going and roast each other in the family as a child, and your itty bitty little subconscious has no idea what's happening, that it's a joke. You take it seriously, and these thoughts get stored in where you are not aware that it will manifest in a physical way, whether it's the way your life is turned out to be or your behavior. And yeah, and I mean, that comes in so many different ways. When you don't feel protected, that could be if you have parents who never really protected you, or you don't feel like you have the ability to achieve great things because you were never encouraged as a kid to try, or even not even encouraged. Sometimes it's the discipline. Some kids can get over encouraged, but not disciplined enough to learn how to just see things through, even when you don't feel like it. Because let me tell you, a lot of adulting, even when you run your own business, a lot of it is doing a bunch of things you don't feel like doing to get the life you love. Or even just to pay the damn bills. Do a bunch of shit you don't want to do. But when you do them, it improves your life. That's why discipline is important. And when you don't have a parent who disciplines you in a way that is supposed to teach you the meaning of working hard for what you want, it makes it hard for you to have those thoughts of, you know what, I failed on this, but it's all good. I'm gonna just keep on trying. Like, it doesn't give you that brain that allows you to fail forward. Because it's either I'm not gonna try it, or, well, I can't even do shit anyways. I've never done anything in my life, so what's the point of trying? It's not your fault. You know, they did it to you, but only you can teach it. So so that's all about negative self-talk and the dangers that it can be in our mind and the outcome of our lives. So what do we do now? What we can do is combat these negative thoughts and negative way of thinking with positive ones.